But it's kind of like this. Karl Marx advocated the abolishment of private ownership of wealth and capital, capital being the means by which wealth is created. He didn't want individuals to own wealth or to own the means of producing wealth. Wealth is what? It's for example, a refrigerator in your kitchen filled with food and beverages that you like. If you've got a house and a kitchen and a refrigerator full of food, I consider that wealth. And capital would be the means, the tools necessary to produce the house and the refrigerator and the food in your refrigerator. For some reason or another, Karl Marx advocated that people, you and me, not be allowed to own a house, a refrigerator, or a car, or a business, or a truck in your driveway to drive to your place of business. In his mind, some elusive public entity, some vague somebody, would distribute the houses and the refrigerators and the trucks and the jobs equally to everyone. You know, doesn't that right on the face of it sound a little bit far-fetched? And couldn't it be that Karl Marx was perhaps intelligent but somewhat of a dreamer and somewhat out of touch with reality? And perhaps he didn't quite know very much about economics or politics or human nature at all. And in fact, he spent his life reading and thinking and writing and never had a job. As far as I know, Karl Marx, I think he was trained as a lawyer back in Germany around 1850. And he came from a well-to-do family. But during the time he did all his writing, he was supported by handouts from his friends, his wealthy friends, a few, or at least especially one, whose name may have been Engels, I don't know. But basically these were the children of some well-to-do capitalists who had pity on the plight of the workers. They had compassion, pity. They wanted to solve the problems of the workers. They were thinking about, debating, studying, brainstorming over what can we do to make life better for these poor workers. We're thankful, Karl Marx, Engels, the rest of us wealthy offspring of these industrialists, we're thankful that we have nice things, but we wish we could find a way to, frankly, to spread the wealth around. In my opinion, the United States has a pretty good system of creating wealth and spreading it, sort of. But it must be a fairly good place to live because people are doing their best to get in. We have to consider fences around our borders to keep people out. The Intercollegiate Socialist Society was a national non-party group dedicated to the organization of current and former collegians for the socialist cause and the spreading of socialist ideas on campus. There were at least 2 isolated cases of socialist organization on campus prior to the establishment of this group. From about 1901, there was a college socialist club organized at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. In its first year, the club had 11 student members and one professor and was limited to confirmed socialists. The membership restriction was loosened in 1904, and the club grew, coming to hold weekly discussions on the exploitation of child labor, workplace safety, and other matters of general concern. The second collegiate socialist club was organized at the University of California at Berkeley, called the Social Progress Club. The group sprung into existence following a lecture by Jack London in early 1905. The Intercollegiate Socialist Society proper was a product of Upton Sinclair. In December 1904, he drafted a call for the formation of such a group and circulated it among intellectuals, socialist intellectuals, and the document was ultimately signed by 9 others, including Clarence Darrow, and this call to form a group was published in various socialist publications in the spring of 1905. I don't believe the Cold War had started. I don't believe Stalin was on the scene at this time. I don't believe this had anything to do with the USSR. I think that socialism perhaps arose in Europe and spread, and in doing so, it spread to the USSR. But I believe now the truth is that this did not originate with the Soviet Union. It may have even influenced Adolf Hitler, because the translation of Nazi, those letters from the German, I believe, means something like Social Democrat Party, National Socialist Democratic Party. So if that's the case, you had one socialist in Germany fighting with another socialist country in Russia. So we're beginning to look at the origins of socialism. And, you know, as I recall my education in public schools, I believe the first I heard of such a thing as socialism and communism was in a history class, a so-called history class, which consisted of a basketball coach reading aloud from a textbook as we all sat and listened. And I drew pictures. I'm an artistic. I'm an artistic person. I sketched pictures, cartoon-like pictures, with tremendous detail. Not really cartoon, more like sketches of various photographs that I saw in this book. And even though I may have given the impression that I was not listening, I was, and I still recall. And my impression of this class is that the basketball coach really didn't know what he was talking about and didn't care. And the best he could do was simply read the textbook aloud. And a distinction was never made between these terms. I picked up through osmosis from society, American society in the 50s and 60s, that the Soviet Union was bad, communism was bad. Didn't know why, but I knew it was bad. That's all I needed to know.